Throughout history, there have been things so addictive. They have shaped entire cultures and changed lives forever. From substances that took hold of entire populations, to habits that became impossible to break. The world has seen countless examples of how addictions can take over. These aren't just stories of people losing control. They are stories of empires rising and falling, fortunes being made, and lives being ruined by things no one could resist. In this look at the most addictive things throughout history, you will uncover shocking truths about how deeply these obsessions reign, whether it was something consumed, used, or experienced. These addictions left a mark on society that still lingers today. Get ready to explore a side of history that's darker than you might expect, where temptation led to lasting consequences. Tobacco. One of the most well-known addictive substances in history is tobacco. Native Americans were the first to use tobacco, often for ceremonial and medicinal purposes. When European explorers like Christopher Columbus encountered tobacco in the 15th century, it quickly spread across Europe and became an everyday luxury. Smoking pipes, chewing tobacco, and later, cigars and cigarettes became common. By the 17th century, tobacco had become a global trade commodity. Governments, especially in Europe, profited greatly from the tobacco industry. However, it wasn't until the 20th century that the addictive nature of nicotine was fully understood. Nicotine, the active ingredient in tobacco, stimulates the release of dopamine in the brain, making users feel relaxed and satisfied. This creates a strong dependency, making it incredibly hard to quit. Despite countless health warnings and efforts to reduce its usage, tobacco remains one of the most addictive substances ever known. Even today, it claims millions of lives annually due to lung cancer, heart disease, and other health complications. Khat. Khat is a plant that has been chewed for its stimulating effects for over 1,000 years, especially in East Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. The leaves of the khat plant contain a compound called cathinone, which acts as a stimulant, giving users feelings of excitement, euphoria, and increased energy. For centuries, khat has been part of cultural traditions, especially in countries like Yemen, Ethiopia, and Somalia, where it's often chewed in social gatherings, much like coffee or tea in other parts of the world. Historically, khat chewing was limited to specific regions, but as trade routes expanded, its use spread. It became a deeply ingrained practice in many communities, especially for socializing and even religious ceremonies. However, where it's viewed as a harmless tradition by many, the long-term effects of khat are troubling. Regular use can lead to addiction, causing dependence on stimulating effects. Over time, it can result in serious health problems like tooth decay, digestive issues, and mental health struggles, including anxiety and depression. Despite bans on khat in many countries due to its addictive properties, it remains a widely used substance in certain areas, with millions of people still chewing it daily. The deep cultural roots and social acceptance make it hard for users to break the habit, showing how addiction can persist even when the risks are known. Methamphetamine. Methamphetamine, often known by its street name, meth, is a powerful and highly addictive stimulant. Its history traces back to the early 20th century, but it gained infamous notoriety during World War II, especially under the name Pervitin. This substance was first synthesized in 1887 by a Japanese chemist, but only began to be used medically in the 1920s for treating conditions like asthma and obesity. However, its stimulating effects quickly caught the attention of military forces. As World War II escalated, the German military sought ways to enhance the performance and endurance of their soldiers. Pervitin was introduced as a way to keep troops awake and alert during long missions, especially during the rapid invasions that characterized the early German military strategy. Soldiers were given Pervitin to boost their energy levels, allowing them to fight longer and with reduced fatigue. This use of the methamphetamine was not limited to soldiers. It was also given to pilots, allowing them to stay awake during lengthy flights and dangerous missions. The effects of Pervitin were striking. Soldiers reported feelings of increased energy, improved mood, and reduced need for sleep. However, these short-term benefits came with serious consequences. The use of the methamphetamine led to addiction, and many soldiers found themselves relying on the drug to perform their duties. Reports emerged of troops experiencing severe side effects, including paranoia, anxiety, and violent behavior as the drug took a toll on their mental health. The widespread use of Pervitin during the war revealed the darker side of addiction. Once the war ended, the health implications of the methamphetamine use became more evident. Many veterans struggled with addiction and the mental health issues that accompanied long-term use. By the 1960s, governments began to recognize the dangers of the methamphetamine, leading to stricter regulations and a push to combat the growing drug epidemic. Today, methamphetamine remains a significant concern worldwide. Its association with the Nazis regime serves as a chilling reminder of how addiction can be exploited for military advantage, but also how it can devastate lives and communities. The legacy of Pervitin is a stark example of the dangers of using drugs to enhance performance, without regard for the long-term consequences. Alcohol. Have you ever wondered why alcohol has played such a significant role in human history? From ancient rituals to modern celebrations, alcohol has been a part of human culture for thousands of years. The history of alcohol dates back to around 7000 to 6000 BCE, when ancient civilization in places like China and the Middle East began fermenting grains and fruits to create early forms of alcoholic beverages. Over time, these drinks evolved into various forms, including wine, beer, and spirits, each with unique cultural significance. In many societies, alcohol has been used for social and religious purposes. In ancient Egypt, for instance, beer was a staple in daily life and often consumed by both adults and children. Wine was important in Greek and Roman cultures, where it was associated with feasting and celebrating. Alcohol also had medicinal uses. It was believed to cure ailments and improve health. However, as alcohol became more widely consumed, the darker side of its effects began to emerge. While many enjoyed it responsibly, others found themselves developing harmful dependencies. The 20th century brought significant changes to how society viewed alcohol. Prohibition in the United States during the 1920s attempted to ban alcohol sales, leading to the rise of illegal breweries and speakeasies. This era highlighted the challenges of addiction and the social consequences of alcohol misuse. Today, despite its cultural importance, alcohol consumption is recognized for its risks, including addiction, health problems, and societal impacts. This duality, celebrating alcohol for its cultural significance while recognizing its potential for harm, continues to shape discussions about alcohol use in modern society. Opium. Opium is a powerful substance that has been both celebrated and condemned throughout history. It's derived from the poppy plant, specifically the opium poppy, Papaver somniferum, which has been cultivated for thousands of years. The earliest known use of opium dates back to around 3400 BCE in ancient Mesopotamia, where it was used not only for its psychoactive properties, but also as a medicine to relieve pain and induce sleep. The Sumerians, who lived in this region, referred to the poppy as the joy plant due to its effects. As time passed, opium spread across different cultures and civilizations. In ancient Egypt, opium was used for medicinal purposes and even appeared in the famous Ebers Papyrus, a medical text from around 1550 BCE. The Greeks and Romans also recognized the value of opium. Famous figures like the Hippocrates and Galen wrote about its uses in treating various ailments, including pain and insomnia. However, the addictive properties of opium were not fully understood, and many people became reliant on it for its euphoric effects. The demand for opium surged in the 18th and 19th centuries, particularly in China. British traders began exporting opium from India to China, leading to widespread addiction among the Chinese population. The Chinese government attempted to curb the trade, resulting in the Opium Wars in the mid-19th century. These conflicts highlighted the devastating impact of opium on society, as addiction led to health problems and social unrest. The wars ended with treaties that forced China to accept opium imports, deepening the addiction crisis. In the 20th century, awareness of the dangers of opium and its derivatives led to international efforts to regulate and control its use. The opium trade became illegal in many countries, but addiction to opiate remained a significant issue. Today, opium is classified as a controlled substance, and its derivatives, such as morphine and heroin, are strictly regulated due to their high potential for abuse and addiction. Opium's long and complex history reflects the duality of its nature, a substance that has been both a source of relief and a cause of great suffering. Understanding this history is crucial for recognizing the ongoing challenges related to addiction and substance abuse in modern society. Throughout history, humans have been drawn to substances that promise pleasure, relief, or heightened experience. But as we have seen, these addictive substances often come at a great cost, not just to individuals, but to entire societies. From the ancient use of opium to the modern-day struggles with the methamphetamine, addiction continues to be a powerful force. As we look back, it's important to learn from history and understand the risks of addiction in our own time. What are your thoughts on the most addictive substances in history? Do you think society is doing enough to combat addiction today? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth videos.